So, first of all, why is it important that architects think about sustainability?
I mean, sustainability is everywhere now, and I mean, the reason why it's important that people think about it is because if they don't think about it, it's gonna be the engineers taking it over, basically, because it's so technical and there's so many things getting put into law requirements and into codes. So more and more the way that people deal with sustainability is basically that you add on extra equipment in the basement, in the technical room, and that takes care of it. And then sustainability becomes this kind of buzzword, which is invisible in the architecture and only, part of course, it improves the way the building functions, but you cannot really experience it. And it becomes also very technical in a way where it's not built into the kind of passive features in the architecture. And for us, when it comes to like real, the hardcore sustainability, the energy preserving, and how to use materials, it's really important that it's built in a way where it's visible, so that it not only performs, which is extremely important, but that it's also part of the foundation of the architecture.
What is the general approach to sustainable design of other architects, and what is your specific approach?
I mean, one of the things that we at least have worked a lot with, and that has kind of put us aside in the whole sustainability agenda, is our notion of course, there's a lot of people working with triple bottom line. That it has to be sustainable both on the energy, on the financial, but also on the social side. But I think a way, even the social impact of it is almost very engineerical in its checklist kind of way of working, where it's more becomes this kind of have you done well in school kind of checklist, and you have to write off a check mark at all the things, and then you become sustainable. We try to somehow put it into a synthesis of all the components, and then we've worked a lot with the notion of hedonistic sustainability, which is something where we basically say that for a long time sustainability has been about doing less instead of doing more. It's been about using less energy, not driving your big fat SUV vehicle, but actually taking not taking long hot showers, but restraining yourself from the life that you want to live and living a different life, maybe a less fun life. And we try in all the things that we do to see the constraints that you get as opportunities for invention. And by looking at sustainability with those eyes, where you say the things that you have to comply to, can they actually be done in a way where it actually makes the world a more fun place to live? So that instead of having kind of the 10 commandment of what not to do, turn it into a world where you say, let's design a world where if you like to drive your car, the more you drive your car, the more sustainable the world becomes. If you like to go on vacation and travel on your airplane, the ultimate experience would be that you would go on an airplane that's more fun, faster, and does not produce CO2. Instead of constantly trying to stop people doing what they want, trying to see, can you actually design a world that is actually suited for human life and become sustainable by designing it in that way.
So you don't think that growth and sustainability is a contradiction?
No, I don't think as a principle it is. I mean, if you consider sustainability a contradiction to growth, or at least to change, then you kind of miss out on the whole thing. then I mean the role of the architect is basically to change the surface of the world, to change the areas that we occupy into something that is the best suited to human activity without damaging the planet that we have.
Do you think that sustainable design is something that only rich countries can afford to have?
No, I definitely do not. I mean, I think actually a lot of poor countries have a very good understanding of sustainability in a passive way. I mean, if you go to a lot of countries, the rural way of building a hut that is shaded from the sun, where the wind can blow through and actually naturally ventilate, is how you've been building for centuries. I think what's hard to do is to build in a poor country in a very dense environment and doing it sustainable. And because the density of people just requires a lot of technical support, and that technical support, if the power that you use is not sustainable, you end up with a city like Beijing where it's almost impossible to go outside.
Is it hard to convince the public and politics about the benefits of sustainable design?
I mean, I think that's very different, of course, from political situation in the different countries. I think when it comes to public buildings, it's almost a demand now in any brief that you very much focus on sustainability and explain what you're doing in a sustainable way. When it comes to private initiatives, it's a lot harder, of course. I mean, it's much more down to bottom line. But more and more of the big companies are focusing on it. And I think it's starting to be a way where it's actually getting demanded not only bottom up, but also top down.
What do you wish to see from the next generation of architects?
I think the most important thing is, of course, creativity and knowledge. So keep on inventing and keep on bettering yourself, learning all both the concrete tools of drawing and working with visualizations, but also the actual knowledge of how a building is made up and all the components. And I think the future of the student is extremely interesting because the world is moving faster and faster. I mean, in our office we have around 20 different nationalities, and often we have students from 20 different countries in the office, and it's a big part of the way that we keep ourselves fresh is just by the fact of having a lot of young people around in the office that constantly come with new knowledge.
Thank you very much. That's it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.